Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about this. So guys, my name is GlenNeta Griffin. I am the CEO and founder of the Georgia Media Academy, and my job is to connect you with all of these amazing people in the media industry to help you take your career to the next level. So I'm really excited about this. Okay, so Vince, tell us about yourself and introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Vince the Voice Bailey, and thank you, GlenNeta Griffin, for everything that you're doing in this world of media. It is amazing. Thank you for putting this together here tonight. I have been in the world of voiceover for about 30 years. Originally from Gary, Indiana, was just a kid that loved to read and would just devour books. And while in class, it got to the point of anybody but Vince come up and read. And, I was involved in church. I'm a Catholic altar boy. Then I became a lector. I'm reading at church. I'm, anywhere there was an opportunity. And I like to tell this story. I had a summer job, and when I was a teenager, about 13, and at the end of the thing, we had a talent show, and I was chosen to be the MC. And there was a young lady in the program that I liked, and she sang a song, and she messed up, and everybody laughed at her, and she started crying, and I grabbed the mic and I go, "You don't laugh at people when they," and everybody shut up. And I said, "Oh my God. Is power in the microphone." And so that's
there is power in the microphone.
So
that's
just always wanting to communicate, and as time went on, got engaged with and everyone here. They have it. If you're in Georgia, wherever you are, they have what's called radio reading service for the blind. And back home, it was the Trade Winds radio reading service. And a gentleman told me about that. I went down, I was my second week in college. I went down to that radio station. I never went back to college. I was reading like newspapers and magazines and books for the blind there in my hometown. And that led to public access television. I saw that and just went crazy with cameras and everything. Long story short, I was like 19 and a half, 20 years old, and I was made the program director. I was running a little TV station back home, believe it or not. Then started doing the drops for the station. You're watching Cable Channel 18, Gary Cablevision of Gary Cablevision Associates. Cablevision Associates of Gary. It's been a long time. Got married. Me and the wife, we moved to Arkansas. I went to work for a CBS affiliate, did radio, was very successful with radio, worked for the city of Little Rock, running their government channel, production supervisor at Comcast, media manager at a college. And all along the way, the voice was being utilized in very different ways, in sports and, of course, for the government, commercials and things like that. And we moved here to the Atlanta market in 2003 after coming to a Bronner Brothers hair show with my wife. She was in the hair care industry, and the rest is history. Atlanta's been very good to me. But all those clients that I worked with back then, believe it or not, everyone, a number of them are still my clients. So it's been a great journey.
Awesome. And we're going to talk more about clients as well. So you talked about how you got started. That was one of our first questions. Where does voiceovers get you? So let's talk about some of those clients, who they are, what kind of projects they may be working on. And guys, if you're tuning in, just now I saw a few more people pop in. There's a Q&A at the bottom of your screen. Put your question there, and I promise you we're going to get to it by the end of this, okay? So back to you, Vince. So where does voiceovers get used?
Voiceovers gets used everywhere you go. If you pump some gas today at Kroger, you lift the thing and it goes, "Hey, would you like more octane in your tank?" That's a voiceover. When you go to the airport and you hear, "Hi, I'm Keisha Lance Bottom. Welcome to Atlanta. Watch your bags." Whatever they're saying, there's 1,000 voices at the airport. Voiceovers are used everywhere. I got a little laundry list though. Commercials, of course, online and off. Commercials for television, commercials on the internet, commercials. The hidden world, and that's really where my bread and butter has been, and that is more corporate kinds of things that are for a specific audience. Tribute videos. I shoot video and have done that for all these years. So a number of my projects are creating tribute videos for honorees. But think about GPSs, elevators, moving stairways, AV presentations for sales, the things that you don't see that's really been my bread and butter. So audiobooks is huge here in the Atlanta metro or wherever you are. But I'll tell you here, there's a place called Listen Up Audiobooks. If that's something that interests you, Listen Up Audiobooks. And they are so huge. I saw them grow from renting a space in a studio to owning the SunTrust Bank building on Glenwood and Flat Shoals Road, to buying the place that he first rented the first studio room from. That's how exponentially audiobooks have grown. And it's another opportunity for it, because I want you to, you know, for those of you that are serious, it's Amazon. Amazon has ACX, which is a new thing where you negotiate directly with the authors to read their audiobooks. So I've done about 4 like that right here. I got on clothes now. Most times I don't even have on clothes, you know what I'm saying? Right here at the house reading audiobooks. And it's all kinds of genres. The last ones were with what I call these urban novels. When I was auditioning, my wife walks by and I'm going, Keisha better have my money. And she goes, what are you doing? I said, baby, I'm auditioning for this audiobook. And I got it. So I had to like cuss for a week. You know, it was great. Movie trailers. It's you know, ebbs and flows. If you go to the movies these days, everything used to be in a world where darkness and Armageddon. Now there's not a whole lot of voices for movie trailers. It's just the natural sound, but there still is, but not a lot. Medical and technical narrations. If you're a nurse or someone in the medical field, it is a skill to be able to say, what's that hydrochloric crap that he's talking about right now? You know, to be able to let those things roll off your lips and say it so that it's digestible. Television promos was a place that I did a lot of work for Aspire Network, Up TV, Gospel Music Channel, a little bit of TV One. You know, Wednesday night, get ready as GlenNeta Griffin brings you the Georgia Media Academy, making money with your voice. That's Wednesday at 7 right here on GlenNeta TV. You know,
man, you
TV,
are hired, man.
TV promos. I can do yours. TV, radio imaging. And this is what got me into it. Here we have the Godfather here in Atlanta. His name is Mitch Faulkner. When I was on the radio urban station, he did all of our radio imaging. That's, you know, Z101. We're playing the hits. We're counting them down. 20 in a row coming up. So Mitch was doing that in the 90s. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you how that works. You have a retainer with a radio station that you're going to do 10 of those or 20 of those a month for $400 a month. He was doing that for 120 stations. You do the math. 400 times 120 stations in the early 90s. So I came here to town. That's what really got me into it. I bought all this stuff, you know, but radio imaging, that's a whole nother story. Radio imaging, and that's a huge business. Believe it or not, phone messaging is an industry with itself. On-hold messaging, telephony it's called. Siri, everyone's aware of Siri. Siri lives right here in this metro area. Did not know what Siri lives here in this metro area. Did not know. She was hired by a third party. They had her working her butt off for a month straight, saying all these words and different things. You know, she got a decent check, but not a check that was worth being the most heard voice on earth. You know, but depending on where your voice is on that voicemail or what have you. So I have a client, Georgia Minority Supplier Development Council. They do vetting of small businesses for companies like Home Depot, Delta Airline, the major corporations. So they say, hey, GlenNeta's good enough. Yes, Mr. Home Depot, you all need to get together and perhaps there's some contracting opportunities. Well, because I do their voicemail, when you call them, it's, you know, welcome to the Georgia Minority Supplier Development Council, GMSDC, where whatever the message is, I've gotten about 7 opportunities out of that, you know, over the year. I say about 7. So even voicemail, animation. Again, being in Atlanta is a great, great market, everybody. What do we have here? Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network is right here in Atlanta. William Street, all those Adult Swim shows. I have a couple of students that have some access to that. If you're interested in anime, then you have places like SCAD, where the students there are working on those kinds of, they always have projects. They're looking for voice talent. And so there's an opportunity. Are you a SCAD baby? Look at that. That's why you so good. That's why you so creative and good like that. It makes sense now.
The television at SCAD.
There you go. So, there's a lot of creativity, and they are always looking for people to partner with and do things. So another opportunity. Video games, believe it or not, here in Georgia, there's about 100 video gaming companies that's doing everything from, a little something that you download to EA Sports. But think about it. If you're able to create a video game and you put it out there for $5 and 10,000 people download this thing from around the world, you're not just talking about this market. You do the math. So you got 2 nerds in a Mac all the way up to NBA 2K or whatever. E-learning narrations. E-learning is huge, and that's going to be really huge, like it is right now. In fact, it has really come up now because we are, clamped down, and you have to, do your training and all these kinds of things online. So e-learning, done a lot of that. Local TV, you worked in local TV, GlenNeta, so there's an opportunity perhaps in your own backyard. And DeKalb has a great local channel, Diamond over there. Fulton has a thriving, government and public access or kinds of channel. And the last one, which is one of my favorites, is the event announcer. And so I have been the announcer for the Atlanta Dream WNBA for 12 years. They didn't rehire me this past year, but it's all good. Professional ballroom dancing, boxing, you name it, award shows, the Trumpet Awards, the Stellar Awards, Black Music Honors, a great program. Look that up on YouTube, Black Music Honors last year.
Oh, yeah.
Shoot. Oh, it's a tremendous it was one of the best. And what really made it nice for me as a voiceover artist is they email me all the stuff ahead of time. So I do all the welcome to Cobb Galleria in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia for the 2019 Black Music. And I do all that. And there was packages on, who were some of the artists? Escape, oh shoot, I can picture them. AD, Arrested Development. There were some great artists, but I did it all ahead of time, so I was able to actually go to the taping and be walking around going, that's me, right? That's me talking, right? So, it's very cool. So, I mean, that's just kind of a ADR, where people are doing the dubbing. If you're watching films on Netflix now, it may be a French film, but they're speaking English, right? That's a voiceover artist is performing that. So there's many ways to make money with your voice.
That's awesome.
Answer the
Guys,
question.
I hope you are writing all of that down. There are lots of ways to make money in voiceovers. So let's go to the very beginning. How do you break into voiceovers? How do you get started if you have no journalism background, no communications background? You didn't go to school for this. You just have talent, and you have a great voice. Everybody says, hey, my cousin has this really great voice, and they want to break in. So how do you break in with no experience?
Well, first of all, that's how I broke in. I didn't go to school for this. I don't have a degree at all. I told you, I went to class for 2 weeks, and the professor came in and said there was an opportunity to go read for the blind. Well, I always knew that I liked to read and that I was a fluent reader. That makes a big difference. Being able to speak in a way that you can look at the text and you can tell that this needs to be delivered in a certain kind of way. So we can talk about that a little bit later. But being able to identify, when you say, how do I break in? Being able to identify those opportunities that are laying right around you. I've been teaching voiceover for quite a while, and 9 times out of 9, the opportunity is going to present itself in the world that you're already in. So if you're in healthcare, if you're in education, if you're in technology, if you're in transportation, I don't care where it is, there is a voice being used in that arena. If there's a microphone in the room, aspiring voiceover artists, you need to be the one that's on that microphone. If they do readings at church, you need to get up there and be the one doing the reading at church. You don't know who's sitting in those pews. You don't know who is needing something at any particular time. And I know that is not a scientific or a way to get into this, but that is how I approached it. It was anytime they was in the room or somebody needed to lead the meeting even. And that, we always think of voiceover as McDonald's commercials and Toyota or voice. I call it voice work, but it's much more than that. It's everywhere you go. So when you say, how do I break in? You start today. You start practicing, you start looking up things on the internet, you know, do your research on, okay, how'd this guy do it? Okay, what is he doing? What is he doing? And again, if you ever are in the room with the microphone, it better be you on it. And I better not ever call you and you got the, you know, the recorded message from somebody else. You need to be speaking on your own phone to get started. And the magic question one day comes. Here's the one that turns you into a professional. When I say, GlenNeta, I like your voice. How much would you charge me to?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. And speaking of that, let's segue into that, because a lot of people are going to be like, okay, so I can tell people I do voiceovers and I can let you hear my voice, but I don't know how much to charge. Like, if you don't have an agent, you know, where do you even start with even knowing?
It's a these days it can be challenging. My benefit is that I've been at it so long and that I have established clients that you know, we have a relationship, and because there is a site out there called Fiverr. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but there are people with great voices, home studios, experience doing voiceovers for $5.
Wow. Yeah.
For $5. But in my case, again, because I have these relationships, you know, I don't have to compete with that. But at the same time, there are some industry standards. You can look out there where it'll say VO rates, voices.com is a good place to look. Or just put in voiceover rates, and they'll have rate cards up there. However, for me, I have a rate card and I've been at this a long time, but I don't use that because you never know what they were willing to pay. Yeah. So you're going to jump out there and say, it's $200 when they was ready to spend $6. I'll give you a great example.
In that case, would you ask them, what's your budget? That's exactly.
That is exactly it. That is exactly what you do. You say, oh, you want me to do your voiceover? That's great. I'm so excited. I want to help you. We're here to help them. I want to help you so much. What's your budget? Right. And, you know, you listen to that. So I could have, last year, 2 years ago, an opportunity came. They called me and they said, hey, Vince, you got a problem doing voiceover for a casino. Like, no, I ain't got no problem doing a voiceover for a casino. Let's do it. Took about 20 minutes right here in my room. Done, you know, emailed it to they actually recorded it on their end. It was Christmas time. The check came, 1 30-second spot, $6,500.
Wow.
Now, if they'd have asked me, and then I said something like, yeah, give me a 400, you know, I'd have been happy with 4, but 65 at Christmas. So I was big Santa Claus, you know, you need any toys?
Right. Yeah. And I think it's awesome too that you're able to work from your home. You know, you don't always have to go into a studio. So we do have Shay that has some questions about studio equipment and microphones. We're going to talk about that toward the end.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's talk about representation. How do you get agents? And is this the same agent as a talent agent? You know, what's your recommendation on representation? Ooh, that was a mouthful.
Yes. Yes. Well, first of all, you never pay anyone to represent you up front. I've seen those scams before where, hey, we can help you get work or that kind of thing. You never do that. An agent's job is to shop you to the clients and to get you the job. And once they get you the job, they actually then pay the agent who takes their 10, 15%, whatever you guys have negotiated on off the top, and then they send you the rest. Agents are great in that they are going to fight for a top dollar, just like I was saying. I mean, I'm here at home. This is really where I work, right here, this room right here. Got some stuff here that soundproofing kind of a little bit, but you know, if you call me and say, hey, Vince, you know, can you knock out this 30-second spot for me, man? I got, you know, $350. Think about it. If you can do 2 of those a day, 5 days a week, do the math. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'll take it. But my agent would say, no way. He's not doing that for no $350. you got to come up with $9.75 because, you know, they're going to fight for the top dollar for you.
Yeah.
And the larger clients, the larger organizations, they would much rather work through an agent than work with the talent directly. That doesn't happen often, where a Delta Airlines or a Macy's or a Home Depot is contacting you directly. They go through a talent agency and they say, we're looking for an African-American voice with a deep voice, exciting kind of guy, announcery. And then the agent says, oh, I've got several of those in my stable. Vince Bailey is one. I'll send him the script. Vince, do a read on this. I send it back. Client says he wants me, and the agent tells me what to do from there. So
Okay.
that's kind of, did I answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely. And if they have any more questions on that, we'll put them at the bottom on the Q&A. So tell us the difference between announcing, emceeing, and voiceovers.
Okay. Well, first of all, announcing and emceeing is what I love to do. You know, it's very easy for me to, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Make Money Using Your Voice, you know, behind the scenes. An announcer, has messaging for the audience. An announcer you don't see most times. He's behind the scenes. He's behind the curtain doing voice of God, it's called. You know, please welcome to the stage, GlenNeta Griffin. And she walks out, you know, or in the instance of, for the Atlanta Dream, basketball, I did hockey, I did arena football, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Phillips Arena for tonight's WNBA action featuring the Washington Mystics taking on your Atlanta Dream. Announcer, you know, ladies and gentlemen, announcer. MC, on the other hand, and I said announcer was my favorite. I got me some notes about MC because it is very dear to my heart. Unlike any other type of presentation, you're not there to be the star when you're an MC, but rather to be the glue that makes the other things flow seamlessly. So your job as an MC is to make sure that whatever this program is, you know, whether it's Save the Kids, awards program, whatever, your job is to make sure that the right message comes out. You have to be gracious, positive, fun, classy as an MC to be a good MC. And I consider myself a good one because I take it real seriously. You got to be gentle. You know, you got to know how to cut people off. You know, they get it. And then, hey, dude, your time is up. Great job, Bobby. And we, whatever. Ace. This is the MC should have the ability to ace an event. 3 A's. Awake, make the people laugh and they'll pay attention to you. Alert, where they're looking forward to your next. What are you going to say next? You know, what's coming up next? We're going to have GlenNeta, but first, let's hear another selection from the choir, you know, whatever. And alive, because if the speaker you present bores them, then they will anticipate you coming back. That's the A's. The C, current, talking about today's news or this event, more so this event that you're at. Clever, intellectually funny, not silly, and concise, saying it quickly, making your point, and then getting off the stage. Third, the E, excitement about the person or the company or the event, enthusiasm about what they do, and energy to keep attention even if the subject is dry. So as an MC, my job is to make everybody in the room feel good. You know what I'm saying? That's the job. You're making everybody feel good, and you're making sure that the correct message is being presented at this thing. I love it. I get dressed up. I got some bling bling ties, you know, and outfits, you know, and get on the stage, and it's just the energy that you can generate. And I don't care if it's the guy who, you know, works in the boiler down there in the basement. When Charles Johnson is here, this building remains warm. That's the only reason why, because he is dedicated to making sure that we are all toasty. So, ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause. Welcome up here. Come on up here, John. You know. Yeah. I can go.
Really, you are made for this. Like, I hope you know you are walking in like your whole purpose and passion. So I think that is such a good thing.
I do. I definitely feel that way. And I think that for those, again, the attitude has to be, folks, that we are there to help them achieve their goal. And because we do, we make money. right? It's not because I got this great voice. It's because I help them sell their product or service. It's because I help them raise money. It's because I help them, get the message across. We are like, again, we're there to help them.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What can people be doing right now to develop their skills? I think it's a perfect time to be developing your skills because we're all, still locked in. But what can our audience be doing right now to develop their skills at home?
Reading, first of all, out loud, everything that you can.
Okay.
Reading out loud. I have been teaching voiceover for a long time, again, teaching it. And, sometimes there are students that are very challenged with reading. Reading is not just saying words. Mm-hmm. Reading has, you have to have emotion behind it, expression, that word fluency. So first of all, if you're not the best reader, read everything, newspaper, magazine, billboards when you're driving down the street, listen to commercials and things that are on the television and on the radio and how they say it, mimic them. It goes back for me, really, that's where it started. Me and my friend Duke would mimic Sesame Street as kids. I can still do some Bert and Ernie skits for you today. And it just helped build that confidence. Being a voice artist, an announcer, an MC, confidence plays a big part in it because you have got to be sure of what you're doing and sure that why you're doing what you're doing, how you're delivering this message. So, okay, read, listen to everything that you can, research, go online. Look, the internet is full.
Yeah.
Is full of information to get you started.
Yeah, awesome. Let's talk about the importance of having a home studio, and then we're going to segue into all of our home studio questions. Shay wants to know, are there any recommendations for home studio equipment, microphones, or interfaces? So tie into the importance of having a studio and what's in your studio.
So it is very important these days to have your own home studio. It used to be when I first was rocking in this business, you get the call because we didn't have all this technology. You get a phone call. It may have been left on a voicemail or on a machine or something. They say, Vince, we need you to go to Soundscape Studio Thursday at 3:00 for the Franklin Ford commercial. You got it. So I would have to drive down there, 3:00, do the deal, all that kind of stuff. These days, everyone has a home studio. This is a competitive field, very, very competitive. So you need to be accessible and well-versed on, being able to get stuff out there. So it is pertinent for you. It is imperative of you to have a home studio. Some of my students who, sometimes I'll get a request, Vince, do you know a African-American female who can do a kind of a sad sounding voice for this Save the Kids PSA or something like that? Well, I can't hire you if you ain't ready to go. And as you know, GlenNeta, being in this business, people want stuff like this. They ain't got time. I know I don't have time to wait. I want.
Yeah.
Say it again. Deadlines. And that's part of the MO for me is that he's quick, he's fast, he's good. I'm quick, I'm here. So, having the studio, a computer, of course. There's some software, everyone who's listening, it's free. It's called Audacity. Audacity. It is audio editing software that's free, that does the same thing that all the big boy stuff do. You can download that onto your computer and begin to, manipulate audio until you get your microphone. Just use the microphone on your computer and watch YouTube videos on how to use it. I'm a big advocate of, I just cooked a pot pie. I went to YouTube, and then figured out how to make this beautiful. But YouTube has instructions. You look up, Audacity for beginners. And then once you do get your microphone, you step it on up. As far as in my particular case, I'm in a small bedroom in my house. Okay. I'm actually sitting right next to a window, but I live out in the boonies in the country. So ain't no cars going by, ain't no dogs barking and all that kind of stuff going on. So it's a window right here. But behind here, I have some absorption blankets, like those blankets that you get for moving. Got that laid out. I have a panel right here, and then another Mac that I do all my recording on right here. Microphone wise, bada boom. Now this is what I use.
Very fancy, by the way.
It looks fancy.
Fancy. That's a fancy.
Okay. So this is what I now let me first tell you that in the real world, the big world of voiceover, there are some industry standard stuff like, again, Pro Tools. They want you to have Pro Tools. They want you to have a Neumann or a Sennheiser, these like, $1,200 whatever microphones. Mm-hmm. Well, I've been working with stuff, all this time to make it do what it do. And so this is a Audio Technica AT2020. They cost, I think this one cost me like $90. The one that you're hearing me on is one that is a USB microphone, so it's connected directly to the computer. This is for when I do the podcast. I connect this to the mixer, but same thing, except it is a USB. You can go online, AT2020, Audio Technica 2020 USB, and that eliminates having to have an audio board and all that stuff. You jack it right into your computer. Audacity recognizes it. You start talking into it. It's recording you there. And this has worked very well. I mean, I'm network TV. I just don't talk about, I'm telling y'all my secrets. I just don't talk about what I got. They hear my demo. They hear my stuff. They don't know that I'm not in some whisper room, $4,000 apparatus here at the house and all that kind of stuff. And most clients wouldn't know the difference anyway. So equipment wise, microphone, you got your computer, your software, and you basically you can't be like near the washing machines or near the laundry room, the heater. It's got to be quiet. Now I'm in a quiet environment, and I've added some sound absorption, sound stuff here, but not a lot. This is not a soundproof studio I'm in, and again, I told you about some of the folks that I've done stuff for right here with what I got.
Awesome.
So
if you guys have any more questions on equipment, just put it into the Q&A. John wants to know, is it advisable to engage an agent to get work? And if not initially, when is the right time in an artist's journey to reach out to an agent? When is it advisable?
Yeah, you definitely, you want to, you want to have an agent, no doubt about it, John. And I think that's my man, John Holly, who actually took a boot camp with me. And if so, good to get back with you, John.
Hi, John. I know we can't see you, but hey.
He's my man. John's got a great voice and a very distinguished gentleman and a great businessman. But the whole thing about the agent, yes. And how do you do that? So here, like in Atlanta, you have Houghton Agency, you got the People Store. There's a couple other out there. ACM is a national. And you send them your demo reel. You follow the instructions. You need a demo, everybody, in order to get an agent. That's a sampling, like 60-second sampling of what you sound like doing actual commercials. And you send that to them, and then they say, "Oh, John, I think I can make money off of you. Yes, I would like to represent you." And then it's off to the horses from there. Then you get auditions, then you have to win them. It's again a very competitive field out here, so having an agent helps. But in my experience, I would say at least 65%, if not 75% of my work comes from relationships that I've developed over the years. Right now it's political time. There may be, people in your family, your cousins, or they know, politicians who are running for office. I've already begun. I've done, about 5 of them so far and people don't even know when the election is going to be, because everything's but it's good. But it's also, that's also the opportunity, because now they got to do something to keep their name out there. Right. Right. And again, we're here to help them. And because we help them, they pay us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Shay wanted to know while we were talking about agents, so you listed a few of them. She wanted suggestions for reputable agencies. And I want to throw out there before I turn that back over. You can go to sagaftra.com. I think that's the website, or just Google SAG-AFTRA. The list of all of the union agents are on there, and you literally have to go into each one to see which ones have a voiceover unit. Like all of them don't, because I know I've been working with Real People for like, 10 years now. They have a voiceover unit, but I'm also with the Jenna Van Dyke agency out of Atlanta, and she doesn't do voiceovers. So you literally can go to SAG-AFTRA and look at each one of them and see, which ones actually represent. But go ahead. Any other specific reputable agencies that you're familiar with in the area?
Well, like I say, Houghton Talent Agency, HOUGHTON, Houghton Talent has been very good for me. The RSH, Richard RSH Management has been very, very good for me. And like you said, the People Store. But for me, and I have the talent group out of Pennsylvania that represents me, as well as there's a studio in Asheville, Procom Studio, and they have been very good to me over the years. I did not actively, again, I'm hard-headed and I'm bullheaded, and so what happened to me, I'll just say that when I was working in news a long time ago, one of my second real professional job, I was told no about something, which that just said, well, I'm gonna do it myself, and that has been kind of,
I've been told no so many times.
right. I'm gonna put myself on TV. John's been up. I gotta have a news set in my garage. You know what I'm saying? So I really pushed for that. I did not push as hard. Although, again, I just gave you about 5-6 different agencies, that send me auditions and, that have paid me and I do work for. But if I would have only depended upon agents for my work, I wouldn't be having this. We wouldn't be having this conversation now. I wouldn't be Vince the Voice. So what I'm telling you, everyone, the Vince Bailey, Vince the Voice School of voiceover, voice work, everywhere that you are, if there's a need for a recording, a voice, someone to lead the meeting, whatever, you need to be the one. And then what happens is people ask that magic question that GlenNeta, I asked you earlier, that is, wow, I heard you, how much would you charge us to? Right. And then you go through the motion of what's your budget? And guess what? Once you do a great job because you're there to help them and you're going to do a great job, they're going to pass you around like a Tijuana taco.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Guaranteed.
That's awesome. We had another question online. Any suggestions for landing jobs, auditions? And should we join casting sites such as voices.com?
I have an account with Voice123. That was one of the first ones, voice123.com. It has always been the free account. I never paid the premium membership. And that's probably been since 2011. Since 2011, I got like 7 gigs. I always use that number 7, but a couple of them were good. One was for the Flow TV for those in the Caribbean. That's one of their big major telecommunication providers, Flow TV, HBO, and all this kind of stuff. So that was one that came through Voice 123. I did, because they flood you with emails, all of these companies, once you inquire about anything. And one time they got me 1 year, I think it was VO Planet. It's Vince, if you do it right now, it's regularly $4.99, but today, Vince, and today only $2.99. Yeah, give it to me. And I did. Tons of auditions, not one job.
Wow.
When you're on those sites like that, and I'm sure they work for some people or else they wouldn't be in business, but you have to be good. You have to be good, but 2, you have to be available like that. When they send that audition out, it may go out to 200 people. Well, if I'm the producer, I'm not going to listen to 200 auditions. I'm going to listen to maybe the first 15, maybe 20.
Wow.
So, yeah. I mean, you like, oh, I like this girl. She good. GlenNeta, get her next. There.
They me touch on that really quick because I also teach this in my class. If you're saying that you will listen to the first few, and basically you're saying that when you find who you're looking for, you find the voice, you cut off the audition process, right?
Well, I mean, but you don't know that as an auditioner.
Right.
You
You
know,
don't know that. But what I'm saying is what I tell my people as well is don't wait for the deadline. Like if you do receive or you see where they're looking for somebody who needs a voice, or you receive an audition for a voice and they say, hey, today is April 1st, but the deadline for this is May 1st. That means that April 2nd, if you're able to get it in, get it in. Like this industry does not wait for anybody. So if Vince just confirmed that if you have the capabilities to go ahead and get the audition in ASAP, get it in, because the first few people, as soon as they find who they're looking for, you have a less chance of actually getting the job. Am I correct?
That is the absolute correctness. And with these pay-to-play sites like thevoices.com, Voice Bunny, all these different things out there, it's a cattle call. They send it out there, Sears or whatever, Target has a campaign. They look for African-American male voice. They send it to all those that fit that. And like Voice 123, there's like maybe 50,000 people signed up, 50,000. So out of that 50,000, maybe 5,000 is African-American male or something, and it goes out to so you got to get your stuff in, Johnny, on the spot. You can't be, wait until tonight. You got to get it in there, as quickly as possible, and to be even considered for it. And just like everything else, voiceover is just like everything else in the world, in that people work with folks that they like and that they're used to, working with. So sometimes that works in my favor, and sometimes that works, not in my favor, because they already know. And it's such a subjective business, everybody. You could have the best voice in the world. I could, I could just do this. But guess what? When I audition for this particular spot, I sound just like the producer's ex-husband.
Yeah.
No fault of my own. So obviously she's not gonna be picking me for that big job. It's a subjective business. So that's why you got to have all your ducks, kind of you're ready when the opportunity presents itself. And I just, I do the audition, I send it off, the email, hit it, God kiss it, devil miss it, and keep it moving. And sometimes
I'm telling you on that, because you know what, I've done tons of voiceovers for Publix. That was like one of the largest clients that I was with over and over again. They used me over and over again.
Wow.
But a couple of them I missed, like I didn't get it. But I'm literally driving down the street, and then I hear that, I know the line, so I hear that 30-second spot that I didn't get, and I'm like, ugh. But
well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that, because I they stopped sending them to me. I used to get a lot of public stuff, but I'm not the dad kind of guy. A lot of their spots are real person. Where it's an average guy. Honey, I'm home. Boy, that chicken sure smell good.
My Real People agency, that was through them. So
right. That chicken sure smell good, girl. Oh yeah, baby. That kind of thing. And I'm more, honey, I'm home. Just not the. And on that note, let me just say this. That there are different types of deliveries for different things, so you have the instructor, again, for the training stuff, straightforward, the real person, which GlenNeta, as an actress, it is called voice acting, the spokesperson, I'm Vince Bailey, and that's why you should do what I'm telling you to do, because I'm Vince Bailey. Spokesperson, different narrator, painting the picture. It was a beautiful day in the month of May when Vince first came on, painting the picture. And then lastly, that announcer. Those are 5 types of deliveries, and you find that you kind of fit one of those or the other, or maybe you're good enough to do them all. But people think they'll say to me, I don't want to be typecast, I want to be able to do everything. No, you do want to be typecast.
So on that note, do you recommend that they pick a specific genre or a specific niche to break into, or just voiceover, talent, or, voiceover actress, whatever? Do you recommend they narrow that down to break in?
I think that it's going to come naturally. What comes natural for you, or what's easiest for you. If you're a caring person, there's just no getting around you sounding like you're caring all the time. So
Yeah.
you're going to do a lot of children's, healthcare of Atlanta, and we're here to serve you and that kind of thing. I mean, you're not going to be the announcer person, and that's fine. If you have a big, bold voice, kind of like mine, it's very easy for me to pull out a ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I mean, boom. So it'll show itself as you do more and more things.
Yes, I agree with that. Myron wants to know.
Myron.
He says, hey, Myron. He says, I've been thinking about recording myself reading books and putting them on YouTube, on his YouTube channel, just to get his name out there. If he does this, is there anything that he needs to look out for as far as copyrights or what not from the publishing companies and authors?
That's a good. That's a good one. I don't actually know that answer. I would say, depending on what the book is, you may be able to reach out to that author. But I would encourage you to do what I was saying about ACX. CX.com, and that's through, again, Amazon, and they have tons of books and authors who are looking for narrators to read their books. And one of the scenarios that they have is called royalty share, where you do the book and then as it sells, you get a piece of that pie. Personally, I don't go for that. I don't go for that. Unless you Oprah, I don't know how many books you gonna sell, and to do an audiobook, folks, is not easy work. I mean, for every hour of good audio, you have read at least 2 hours, at least. The longest book I did, you can look up Vince Bailey narrator online. You can see some of the books that I've done. And my longest one was 20 hours when it was finished, the completed project. So to do that meant I spent at least 42 hours in the booth.
Wow. And
for an outgoing person, even though I like being home, I got to get up I was making an excuse every 5 minutes. Man, I need some water.
Yeah.
I gotta go use the bathroom. This is driving me crazy. It's not easy. And again, it comes back to that fluency thing too, because if you're not a good reader, that 40 hours just turned into 60 hours, Yeah. So I mean, I admire his initiative, and they're local authors. So I mean, you may reach out to them if you're just wanting to do books just to get your voice out there. But if it's books, that have some special meaning for you, then I would recommend you reaching out to the authors.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's 7:48. So guys, if you have any final questions, I do have a few more, but if you have final questions, go ahead and put them in the Q&A so I can make sure you get them tonight. So I'm going to tie these together. So what we're talking about is, with Myron, should he just record someone else's material and put it out there or not? So Pauline wanted to know, how do I create different voice samples for a portfolio? And then what I also heard you saying was that, there's a lot of people who need their voices. So to me, that sounds like you can partner with someone and, get the rights to do it, especially if they need it and you're trying to build your portfolio. Why not work for free if you're building your portfolio? Not everybody's, necessarily ready for money. If you're building it and you need a sample, that sounds like a relationship to me. But what are your thoughts on that? Reaching out to people, new authors, and going, hey, maybe could I read an excerpt from your book, to do a sample, to have it for my portfolio? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, hopefully then you've got your own gear so that you can record yourself. Okay. If not, then perhaps there's a situation where you go to a studio, the academy or myself, what have you. In my class, one of the things that an exercise I always do is I have a student identify a business that they know the owner. And then we go online and we look at their website and we write a 30-second commercial on that business. We don't tell them, we don't talk to them ahead of time, none of that. We do it and then we give it to them as a gift. Say, hey, I was taking a class and here's one of the things that I did for this class. I kid you not, maybe 15, 20% of those times, there's something happened after that. They put it on the radio. They wanted them to do some more stuff. They put it on their website. They paid him. One guy, the owner, turned it into a television commercial. It was a rib place, and then gave him free ribs. I was jealous. I wanted some of them ribs. You know, he made a television commercial. Did the television commercial, gave him a little money, and gave him some ribs, you know. So and you know, we're talking about hair salons, you know, local businesses. I can't stress enough, when you talk about making money, there's so much around you. We are always, and I know we want to be Tyler Perry stars and all this kind of stuff, but we have missed so many. And it's fine, because I'm going to get them. If you don't, I'm going to get them. Because you do the math. Again, do the math, everybody. Even if you was doing spots for $200, if you did 2 of those a day, 5 days a week, that's $2,000 a week. Times 52 is $100 and something thousand, you know, $100,000 a year just doing 2 little commercials. And I'm so quick, I get it done in like 7 minutes. I can write it, read it, and put it together probably in like 10 minutes.
Wow, that's awesome.
So while you were out there chasing all this big stuff, there's a lot of stuff. And your job, again, there could be opportunities right there in your job.
Right.
You're missing you're missing what this voice work is really all about.
I agree with that 100%. Pauline also wanted to know, she said, is there a database, or how do we send our resume, portfolio, demos to agents and producers? Now, I will tell you that we talked a little bit about that earlier today, but I'm also with actorsaccess.com, because this is still acting. Actors Access, they have where you can set up your profile, and in your profile you can actually check voiceovers. I do voiceovers, and they have samples that you can upload there, so you can actually, you know, upload your demo reel there. And when they're looking for voiceovers and you're in that specific profile, you know, they'll actually, your name will pop up and they'll send you what the audition is. You select it if you want to audition for it, and then you're connected with them. So you have anything to add on to that? Any other databases?
I think you hit it right there on the head. But if you searched again the you know, for voiceover talent agencies, I mean, all of them, they'll have a requirement. They'll just say, hey, email us MP3 file of your deal, and if we like it, we'll get back to you. That is, you know, it's just as simple as that. And if you've done a good job on your demo, if you've got that unique sound that they're looking for, they will definitely get back to you, because their job is to make money off of you. That's what they're in business for.
Right. Absolutely. Also, another thing is that indie artists or indie filmmakers, you know, a lot of times they may just need a voiceover, or they need a voice to be on the other end of that phone call that somebody's making. Because I know we've shot a lot of films, and, you know, a lot of times the voiceover, you know, it'll just say voice of mom. You know what I mean? And, you know, we just need a voice. We don't need a physical person. We just need somebody to be the voice. And we were able to send that to people and have them record mom. And then we just, you know, overlay the audio. So there's a lot of groups on Facebook for filmmakers, for talent, for actors and things like that. And in order for you to get these opportunities and that content for your portfolio, you need to be plugged in. It is still very much so a relationship business. And Vince is proof that you can get one client and get booked over and over again. Right. And the thing about the film and television or voiceover industry, people will take you with them, and they'll take you from project to project. So get inside of some of those Facebook groups and tell them who you are. Like, you have to introduce yourself. Hey, my name is GlenNeta Griffin. I am a voiceover artist based out of Atlanta, Georgia. If you guys need, you know, any kind of voiceovers for your short films, for your indie films, for your feature films, call me, give me a chance, let me audition for you. I mean, it's literally as simple as that. Go ahead.
And you know, a lot of folks had the, and I'll say, misconception that because the film industry was so booming, you know, here in Georgia and Atlanta, that meant, you know, voiceover, you know, was a part of that. And but in reality, for film and there's not really a lot of voiceover. Maybe, you know, a Happy Feet kind of thing with Morgan Freeman, you know, or something where there's a narrator, but however, everybody that's working on that movie, I mean, I'm talking about behind the scene, the cameraman, the director, are working on a project that need a voiceover. So like GlenNeta said, you need to be in that mix, because you never know, they just need a mom on the phone, you know, and boom, like that. You know, it's not that you're going to be voicing movies, But everybody, I'm telling you, in that's working on that movie, from the lighting guy to the chauffeur driver, is working on a project that need a voiceover.
Yeah, very true. Very true. You know, it's funny too. I did an episode of Star that we shot here in Atlanta. So I was
really?
For Evan Ross and Brittany O'Grady. So it was funny because they didn't get on camera me pronouncing them man and wife. So they actually had to call me back in, and I got paid again just to go back to do the voiceover of just that little piece.
It's great.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, yeah, I'm coming back, you know? So, I mean, work is literally, you know, everywhere. There's so many different opportunities, but I will definitely tell all of you, you have to be ready. Like, you have to get ready and be ready when the opportunity comes. You absolutely cannot just, you know, wait to do your demo reel when somebody says that they need a voiceover artist. You have to already go ahead and work on this content. You can actually Google demo scripts. You know, if you don't have content, there's a lot of content online. You can Google scripts and just play with them. Just read them. It's just reading. There's so many different commercials. Like I pull, for a lot of my classes, I pull just sample scripts offline. And especially after they've already aired, a lot of companies will sometimes put their scripts out there.
Edge Studios, EDGE. Edge Studio is a great source for not only for a lot of scripts, but they just have a lot of great information. Of course, they're going to try to sell you something, but and if you want to do that, I mean, I'm not downplaying anyone's hustle, what they're doing, but there's enough information there to keep you busy during this Corona lockdown without spending a dime, and you will have a lot more knowledge about this coming out on the other end. And of course, we're talking, GlenNeta, about, you know, the class there at the Georgia Media Academy. And you can come on and we get together in person and really get you rolling on this way, making money using your voice. Yeah.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback on that, we are developing right now our voiceover boot camp, which is going to be a full day of training in the studio at our GMA studios in Fayetteville. So once all of this coronavirus is over, we are going to get you guys in the studio and we're going to tackle this all day long. We're going to talk about your branding, talk about your voice, work on some samples and all kind of things like that. I have one more question. Let me see. Oh, Pauline said, I'm there. Please send info. You are first on the list, Pauline. Like, Pauline is so awesome.
We'll look for it. Yeah.
She is so awesome. Let's close out with one more question. Developing your business on your own. So as far as what do you think that you need? What's essential to develop your business as a voiceover artist?
Well, definitely getting that home studio set up so that when you have that conversation with people and they're ready to rock, you're ready to rock. You know, get your home studio. Again, a small room in your house. Closets make very good sound booths, you know, with the clothes in it. You don't take the clothes out. You could hopefully, you know, build a little shelf in there, put the microphone in there. So you know, studying the Audacity software so that you can then manipulate and process, you know, the audio so that you can put together spots and things like that. And really telling everybody, and I always say tell everybody and their mama that you are a voiceover artist. You have not a clue where the opportunity is going to present itself from. You may have, again, family members that are running for office, or they know that, you know, Uncle Junior is running for office back in, you know, Tougaloo, Mississippi, wherever they at. And then the business owners that you know personally, they can all utilize, you know, with the technology now and the social media. I mean, every commercials is nothing to. I mean, you got to have it. This is how you promote yourself. So start where you are. Let everybody know and help people come into, again, the situation. Don't come in talking about how much money it's going to cost. Come into the situation, talk about how you can help them. That's what we're here for. We're here to help others, and we're going to be persuasive and convincing, and they're going to have results, and then you're going to grow from there.
Awesome. That's good stuff. Let's do a quick recap real quick. So we're going to start where we are, right? Start where we are.
Definitely.
Get that home studio set up. There's Actors Access that you can select voiceovers and get that profile set up. Audacity, Audacity, right?
Audacity, because it's
Audacity
free.
software.
Now, if you got money, you know there's a Adobe Audition, there's others, but that's free and it's just
Okay.
as good.
Yes,
Audacity.
that's a good start. Audacity software, voices.com, voice123, and Edge Studios for content. And of course, do your research. There, you can literally, what I would recommend to all of you, on your computer, go ahead and start you a folder that's called voiceovers, okay? And start researching articles and researching anything in Georgia, any resources, any companies. Start putting all of your content in there. You guys should go ahead and get your business cards. You can get free business cards at vistaprint.com and put voiceover artists on there. And today, when you guys get off of this call and off this webinar, you should go straight to your social media profiles for Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and whatever else you have and put voiceover artists, because you are a voiceover artist.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you've already got some experience, because I don't want you. It's hard to come back after maybe putting something that isn't quite up to snuff yet. So, I mean, between GlenNeta or myself or something like that, let someone take a listen to it. Because again, once you put it out there, it's hard, for them to say, "Oh, yeah, I remember when she, sent me that. It didn't sound so good." I've had students who were sending stuff out there and they thought that they were recording from the microphone, but there was actually the microphone on the computer, and things like that. So you want to get having coaches is great, and people that support you. So.
Yeah, and absolutely, and also when you guys work with Vince and myself in the studio, we are not going to tell you that your work is great if it's not. So our job is to get you to where you need to be, and the best way to do it is to do it. So while you guys are still quarantined, you should be recording over and over and over again. In that voiceover folder on your computer should be samples of your work, of you getting better. Just record them, save them all in there. Or if you want to get maybe an external hard drive, start saving your work, because eventually those are the pieces that you're going to put together for your demo reel. And then when you guys get back in studio with us, we're going to pick the best ones. And we're going to let Vince say, okay, this is the strongest piece that goes in the front. This is your strong closeout. And this is a little bit in the middle. We did not touch on how long a demo reel for voiceover should be. Can you talk about that really quick?
Normally it's 60 seconds, but it can be, longer. But normally it's 60 seconds for audiobook, maybe 2 minutes. In a 60-second demo, you may have five clips in there of different things, of different spots that you've done.
Yeah.
Audiobooks say maybe, in 2 minutes, maybe, 3, 4 different samples of audiobooks that you've read, so they can really get a good feel of what you sound like and your flow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that is our time, guys. I think we definitely got through all of your questions that you guys submitted. So thank you for doing that. That helps so much with the flow.
I see. Shout out to John and Myron and Pauline and Shay and Shay. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
thank
know
you
we
so
do
much.
have 2 Shays. Hey, Shays.
Yeah.
Hey,
Shay.
guys. That was awesome. Let me see. Pauline just said, thank you very much. Thank you, guys. You guys are so very welcome. Y'all get to work. Recording all that stuff. Vince, give us a strong closeout, and then we will see these guys in this GMA studio June-ish, maybe.
Whenever the world opens back up. Listen, if this is really a passion and a desire of yours, Myron knows. Myron's a ballroom dancer. My voice is taking me around the country and outside of the country announcing. I should be in Miami right now at the Eden Rock Nobu Hotel, which is 5-star, right there on the beach, cabanas and all that kind of stuff, right at this moment. Last weekend, it would have been Toronto. I should have been in Toronto. The next weekend, I should have been in Washington, D.C. for the Washington Open, emceeing ballroom dance competitions. Who'd have thought? I've seen, $65,000 dresses. This is kind of world that this voiceover has led me to. I've done the Hawks before, when Ryan, God bless, I understand he's getting better now, but I filled in for him. I did the WNBA for 12 years. This voice on stage at corporate events, introducing the top corporate people here in Atlanta or around the country. Your voice has power, and you can be as better than me. Because again, I told you, this is not from schooling. This is something that I felt I wanted to do, and with my heart, I want to help people. My mantra is making people feel good, and that's all it is. And from that, like I say, I should be in Miami right now, drinking a Mai Tai, talking about what time we get started tonight, eating. Let me tell you, they had compressed watermelon with crab meat on the top. Just think about that. Compressed watermelon with crab meat. That's the kind of appetizer. I was like, you go eat yours.
That's right. John says, very good. Thank you both. Inspired to keep it moving forward positively. You are very welcome. Thank y'all so much for your support. Thank y'all for tuning in. We can't wait to work with you and help you get your portfolios built and your demo rolls built. If you are not on our email list, which you should be after this, we will send you guys an email from the registration that you register for this workshop, and make sure you guys are on the list for the voiceover. So, we're going to send it out to you as soon as we get it. As soon as we can get back in, I can tell you for a fact we will not be in the studio in May. We're going to sit our little behinds in the house and let all this, stuff ride out. But hopefully, if, Lord willing, we will be back in studio in June-ish. We'll see. But we will email it to you. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Get to work, start pulling some content down, and just start recording yourself. And, when you bring it to us, we're going to work with you on it and pick out the best pieces to represent your career. You want to say anything else, Vince?
No, I want to get my toes and nails done too, but stay in the house, okay? I need a line. You see that? That's good bushy right there. But we're going to be all right. Stay in the house. We'll see you in June. Yeah.
Yes, we'll see you in June. All right, guys. Y'all take care. Stay safe, and get to work. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
God bless.